Hello, friends, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us be the first to welcome you to Orlando.
Reverse thrusters engaged.
Oh, I don't want to become an internet meme. Jesus Christ. Those were the brakes. I've never heard the brakes. We're live.
We did it.
Made it to Florida.
No doors or nothing flew off.
In this episode, we took our handheld recorder on a trip across the country to Florida, Orlando, Florida, for Universal Studios, where we spent several days. We got there on a Wednesday, left yesterday, Saturday, at like 9:40 p.m. on Spirit Airlines. We documented this entire trip on our TikTok page. That's Fort Worth Roots on TikTok. You can check that out. If you don't have TikTok, that's okay. Check out the video for this episode. I'm going to include most of what we did on the video for this episode, episode 182. Now, if you're confused and trying to figure out why we skipped an episode, right? This is episode 182, and we do not have an episode 181 in our catalog right now. It's because we had a catastrophic hard drive failure, and we lost a wonderful episode with Keegan McEnroe. Now, if you've ever lost a hard drive and tried to recover the data, you might know that it can be very expensive to do that. So it's going to be a while we try to save up some money here at the Fort Worth Roots podcast to hire some forensic experts to recover that episode. So it will happen. But we do not have episode 181 with Keegan McEnroe, Cody Halford, and our wonderful co-host Megan. It's just not available right now. But we're going to keep a spot open for it in our catalog, and it will one day, with technology, we will recover it. I'm certain. So this is episode 182. Don't bother looking for 181 right now, but we will one day recover that episode. I have high hopes. Stay tuned to the end of the episode. We're going to tell you about all of our awesome sponsors that help us keep the lights on here at the Fort Worth Roots Podcast Studio. And we're going to give you a little bit of early information about the music series that we've been talking about for a while, but we are probably going to release our first flyer middle of this week, talking about a music series that's going to happen at multiple locations all over the city of Fort Worth with a new band on stage at each location, March through September, and then all of those bands that played in our series are going to play for us again in September at our big annual event. Before we get started, just want to shout out one of our sponsors, McFly's Pub, located outside of the east gate of JRB Carswell, the military base here in Fort Worth. It's a 1980s Back to the Future themed bar with a very impressive outdoor area, fire pit, hang out, bring some friends for pool, darts, cornhole, jumbo, Jenga, or catch a live event. Every Tuesday, Tommy Luke does an open mic. There's always something going on at McFly's Pub. Go check them out and let them know you heard about them on the Fort Worth Roots podcast. We start this episode out as the airplane is landing in Orlando. And maybe it's just my imagination, but I don't remember ever hearing the brakes engage during a landing. But I don't know that we're going to, we got there safe. I shouldn't complain, but I don't know that we're going to be flying Spirit Airlines anytime in the near future. That is enough talking out of me. Thank y'all so much for being here this week, and let's start the show. Straight from the airport. Are we going to check in at all at the hotel?
We can try and check in at the hotel. If the room isn't ready, then we will leave our bags at the concierge. And then we will go to the park.
Okay. We need to go get me a magical wand.
Yes.
Right off the bat.
If you want to start casting spells, then yes, we will need to get you a wand right off the bat.
I mean, we do have yours, so
yeah.
We could.
Do you want your own wand?
Well, I thought it was a requirement, so I've already prepared myself to accept my wand.
I've always wanted to get a second wand, but I haven't found one that I like as much as my current wand.
Oh, you got the best one right off the bat.
I think so.
What makes your wand special?
I don't know. I just like it. It's the wand Sirius Black. His wand.
Do We got lucky. The airplane was probably at half capacity, if that. But we stayed in our seats. Megan wanted me to scoot over so she could have some room, and I was like, no, I'm going to sit in your lap.
We were told we weren't allowed to anyways, weight distribution and balance.
Weight and balance was their excuse for confining us to our assigned seats. I call malarkey. Because before we boarded the plane, they were trying to charge us $20 if you want to sit in the exit row. $25. The weight and balance thing, and I'm sure they can do it pretty fast on the computer, but that takes a little bit of time. Moving bags around, fuel, people, where they're located on the airframe. It takes a minute. Most pilots, any good pilot, does that by hand.
They just couldn't sell it until they were bitter, and they didn't want anyone sitting there.
Bitter bitches. Spirit is full of bitter bitches. You heard it here first. Alright. I wonder what the landing's going to sound like on a recorder. Here we go. Call it out. What do you see, co-pilot?
The wing.
Just the wing? Okay.
Some trees.
Some trees. Some Florida trees.
Florida man.
In other news, a Florida tree today.
Spirit. Oh boy. Balance her out.
Whoa, wobbly. Oh, God.
Reverse thrusters engaged.
Oh, I don't want to become an internet meme. Jesus Christ. Those were the brakes. I've never heard the brakes.
A little squealy.
We're live.
We did it.
Made it to Florida.
No doors or nothing flew off.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us be the first to welcome you to Orlando. The time is 11:59 a.m. We know that you're ready to go, but please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened until we get to the gate.
Nice.
The captain turns off that seatbelt sign. Once again, this will be your one and only indication that it's safe to get up and move throughout the cabin. Please use caution when opening overhead bins as your items may have shifted during this flight. For those VIP guests who may require assistance, such as a wheelchair, we do ask that you remain seated until the end of the deplaning process. This will allow us to best assist you. Also, if you're waiting for strollers, the strollers may not be available until the end of the deplaning process as well.
Are you done?
We invite you to visit spirit.com/free spirit where you can start earning points for today's flight.
They've been trying to sell us shit this entire flight.
Enjoy their rewards, regardless of how frequently you travel.
Alright, so we should start with queso. And I want a beer.
I'm gonna get a high noon.
Found out today that, well, Megan already knew this, but I didn't. Airports are the worst place to try to find food for somebody with a gluten allergy.
That is correct.
Nowhere around here that had any food. Even the on the border we're at has a limited menu and hardly anything to complement a gluten-free diet.
The only thing you'll be able to get away with is the queso, chips and salsa, and the chicken flauta.
And guacamole if you weren't.
If I also wasn't allergic to avocados, yes. But there actually were a lot more options pre-security here at the Orlando airport.
Before you go through security, there's a shit ton of options.
Like there was Chick-fil-A, which is always good for the grilled nuggets, and normally they carry the gluten-free buns. And then they had a Firehouse Subs, which actually has a delightful gluten-free bun for their sub sandwiches. However, I do not know if the airport has them because they're hit or miss sometimes.
We got Lagunitas, Goose Island IPA, Guinness Stout, not a bad choice.
Sierra Nevada Hazy Little Thing IPA.
That hazy little thing has really been growing on me. That's what I had.
Oh, is that what was over there?
Yeah. Before we went through security. We got here 6 hours before we were supposed to board.
5.5-ish. and we went to check our bag, and it said we couldn't until 4 hours before our flight. So we had an hour and a half we had to kill before we could check our bag
and the reason
come
we
through.
did this is because my feet and lower back are murdered, and we decided we'd had enough.
But we rode everything and did everything that we wanted to the last few days. So it was just an extra day, bonus day. We rode ET today, which was the only thing that we hadn't ridden the last few days.
ET is the best ride in the park.
Yes,
Make
10 out of
sure
10.
Write your congressman and let him know that we must keep ET as a historical,
Ooh, I wonder
historically protected.
if Florida would designate it is a historical.
It is historical.
So they can't do anything with it. Because I know we looked up, and there's always been like a threat of them shutting it down. Because I think it's the oldest ride in the park
It's
right
gotta
now.
be. It has to be the oldest ride.
But everyone loves it. It's so nostalgic.
I heard some 8-year-old kid telling his parents he thought it was kind of boring. I almost turned around and punched him right in the face. All right, so now that we've ordered our drinks, we have to start by talking about the hard drive loss.
Oh, yeah.
Last week we had an episode that we were about to put out with Keegan McEnroe, and it's the first time we've had somebody play on our stage inside the Fort Worth Roots podcast studio. Really excited about this episode. It was a great recording.
It was a great recording. It was a great conversation.
We had Megan, Keegan, and Cody Hallfruit from Abilene, Texas, and I think we went about an hour and a half. And got home, transferred all the files to my hard drive where I do all my work, where I store all my files, and I turned the laptop to show the screen to Megan, who was sitting on the couch opposite of me, and I bumped the hard drive. It fell off the table and hit the floor from a distance of about 2.5 feet.
Yeah.
Destroyed the hard drive. Took it to 2 places to see if they could recover the data, and they can't. And what everybody says is they got to send it off to forensic data recovery in order to get the data off of that hard drive. And guess what? That's thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So now I'm scrambling, trying to find ways to run the show while we save up money to replace or to recover the hard drive. So that's what's going on right now. It's awful.
Yeah.
I'm losing sleep over it every night. That's been part of the nightmares I've been having, is trying to figure this problem out.
Yeah.
We've been in Orlando, Florida since Wednesday. But during our adventures out here in Orlando, we've been sleeping in a hotel room, of course, as one does. And we both had trouble sleeping in a strange bed. It really wasn't uncomfortable.
As far as hotel beds go, it's probably one of the more comfortable ones that I've slept in. But, I mean, it's not our bed, so that's always an issue.
So I was waking up every 30 minutes, every hour. And because of that, I was able to remember more of my dreams, I guess, or keep hopping in and out of that REM sleep.
Yeah.
And I was just having nightmare after nightmare, and a lot of it had to do with losing the hard drive.
Well,
But
one of these days.
Yeah, we're going to do everything we can to recover that hard drive, and I'm just going to hold on to it. We're going to find other ways to run the show for now. And
remember to back up.
Oh my God! Listen, back up your hard drives. I'm an idiot, and that's the worst part about this. Is I feel so stupid for not having everything backed up. But it was a newer hard drive, so I wasn't worried about it.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were that easy to damage.
I mean, but you think over the years, how long you've had that or whatever, you've probably dropped it other times.
Oh yeah.
It's just that one time where it hit just right, or the other times it's loosened up whatever is in there. And
well, and it did hit just right, and I was actually worried about it immediately because it hit right on a corner.
Oh yeah.
It took all that impact right there at the corner of the hard drive, and I can't think of a worse way for it to land. So anyway, all right. So that's what's going on there. But Orlando's been awesome. We went to Universal Studios. What were the 2 parks?
Islands of Adventure, and then it's just Universal Studios.
And they're connected, and you can ride a little
Hogwarts Express, the train.
Platform 9 3/4.
Yeah.
Harry Potter train. And God, we're gonna have to look at the videos to see what order we went in. But our number one ride in the park, Megan's favorite, is the
Hagrid's Magical Motorbike.
Which is pretty badass. It's a 2-person ride. So she'd get on the first time we did it, she got the motorcycle and I got the sidecar. And you go through this little adventure. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then the second time we switched, so he was on the bike and I was in the sidecar. And I think we both agree that being on the bike part is superior to the sidecar.
Pro tip, because you get to like lean and kind of...
You're higher up too, I think, there.
And if you've got a vivid imagination like we do, and kids at heart, you get to kind of pretend like you're on a motorcycle. So that's cool. Second favorite ride, well, my favorite ride in the park, and I think your second favorite?
Yeah.
The
Velocicoaster.
I never can remember the name of it. But it's the Jurassic Park, probably the newest one in the park, right? No. Hagrid's is newer.
I can't remember. They're pretty close.
Yeah. But it's really badass, and it's extreme. There's a lot of really powerful acceleration and bends and twists and things that they did things with that ride that I haven't seen done before.
It was really cool, for sure.
So
as far as like, I don't know, I think it's the combination for Hagrid's of like the nostalgia of Harry Potter and like the immersion in it, and I don't know, just
all of it.
I
like
but as far as like the thrills and like the coaster itself, that would be Velocicoaster is the best coaster, straight out.
And I like all the faux architecture, the castle walls, and all the cool shit.
Yeah, that's one of the things that they do really well at Universal, I think, is making the lines interactive and enjoyable, because a lot of them you're in there for a pretty long time. I think at one point
could be hours.
Yeah, and the longest we saw Hagrid's while we were here was 2-hour wait, I want to say. But I've seen it, 3-hour wait or more to get on that ride, and it's it's crazy, but
so it helps to have something to look at.
Yeah, all those little displays or screens or like little things, and it's like, feel like every time you get on it too, you kind of find something else that you haven't seen on before.
And we were gonna ride the Kong Skull Island or something like that, and we waited through that thing for probably an hour.
It was over an hour.
But
because I think when we got in line, it was about an hour, and so probably hour and a half, I want to say, we waited in line. We got on it, and about a minute into the ride, it shut down.
Which is really wild, because we've been on like these super intricate rides that you would expect to have problems more than the Kong ride, which is basically you're just in a bus. Yeah. Driving along.
On a little track and some 3D screens around you.
But they literally had to shut the ride down, turn all the lights on, because this all happens inside like a warehouse. And they had to bring out scaffolding and unload us from the ride.
And then walk us out.
Like Megan and I and anybody else in our physical state could have just easily climbed down the side of the bus, but they weren't going to let us do that.
No. So but we got a fast pass out of that for getting stuck. However, you can't use it on Hagrid's or Velocicoaster or the new Minions ride, which it's like we were like, oh sweet, we're going to go use this to get on Hagrid's so we can ride it again. And we got over there and handed it to them to get in the line. She's like, oh no, we don't take that here.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, great.
But talking about standing in the lines, Kong was really cool. There's some videos that I put up on TikTok of us going through some of these rides. We can't video during the ride because you'll immediately get ejected from the park. It's something they threaten you with. I don't know if that's true, but we took a lot of video of like leading up to the ride. So like Kong and E.T. and Hagrid's. Took some videos to just kind of show you guys what the lines look like, which sounds stupid, but they've done a lot of intricate stuff. And probably Kong, the wait for that one was my favorite because there's like animatronics and skulls and I don't know. It was cool.
It was cool. I think the best... Hagrid's is cool. I think, though, my favorite line wait is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. That's inside of, like, the Hogwarts castle.
And they've got, like,
and you're, like, walking through the
portraits.
castle, and they have, like, the moving, talking portraits, and they have, like, 2 different areas. Like, one area, Dumbledore comes out, and you're, like, in his office, and he's talking to you. And then another area where Ron, Hermione, and Harry come out with, like, the invisibility cloak, and they talk to you there, and, you know, it's really cool.
Super interactive.
Yeah.
But, you got to enjoy waiting in line because that's half of your trip whenever you go to something like this.
Yeah, we really lucked out. I think the time of year that we've come and getting here Wednesday and doing, you know, a lot during the week. We definitely noticed as the week progressed into like Friday, it got busier. Today, Saturday was just bananas.
It's pretty nuts. Yeah, and they're spooling up for Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Right, queso?
Yes.
Can we get a couple of waters?
Yeah.
Thank you. So, and then we spent a lot of time enjoying the food.
Yeah.
I was constantly looking for gluten-free options and cool places to get drinks and stuff like that. There's a lot of gluten-friendly
There is. I
spots.
can't take this until we get some water. I think Universal is pretty good with some gluten-free options. I think Disney World is still better at that right now with what they have. But, I mean, it wasn't hard finding some options. And I had already done some research, and I had stuff saved on where to go and what to order. And so it made it a little bit easier.
City Walk, which is right outside of the park, it's kind of like, I don't know, just open to the public, shopping area with lots of restaurants. We went to Fire Pit? That doesn't sound right. Fire something. And a Mexican food place called...
And
They were serious about making sure that our food allergy requests were met. The waiter came out twice to confirm, and then they sent management over, and it was a whole thing. But, you know.
Big Fire.
Big Fire. Okay, so we went to Big Fire that first night,
Yeah,
and that was pretty damn good.
it was really good. I mean, the food was really good, and it was cool sitting there watching them cook in the kitchen over, like, open fire, like firewood cooking.
You can tell those poor guys are miserable. It had to be so hot in there. But
Yeah, I think we were both a little disappointed, though, in the portion size.
yeah, we both left just a little hungry.
Yeah, it was still really good, and I think,
Worth it.
worth it. It was just one of those things, like, we kind of had, like, a little breakfast and a snack, and it's like your big meal is kind of dinner, and you get there, and the servings were...
Kind of ate, like, pretty damn frequently. It was part of the fun.
Yeah.
Antojitos, they had good portion sizes.
And that food was good, too. We had the fajitas. We had, like, this corn dip. It was really good.
But by far, I think our favorite meal was
Mythos.
Just absolutely incredible. Definitely the most expensive meal we had.
But we got a lot of food.
Yeah.
I mean, we ordered an appetizer, and they were able to substitute the pita bread for gluten-free bread.
We both had 2 drinks.
We both had 2
Cocktail.
drinks. Yeah, I had 2 glasses of wine. You had 2 mixed drinks.
Yeah.
And then we got our main entrees and then added Caesar salads to both of those. So, I mean...
The other thing that really surprised me is that's definitely the best restaurant in the park.
Yeah.
No comparison. We had to wait like 20 minutes to get a table. And I thought, because we looked online and we couldn't get reservations, and I thought, okay, well, we're just not going to be able to eat there. 20-minute wait, and we had a table.
And we sat at the same table you sat at last time you ate there, right?
Yeah, if Cody's listening to this. Same table, same seat. Which is just nuts.
Yeah.
Because last time we had a party of 4, and this time it was a party of 2, but somehow we 2 years apart and still ended up getting sat at the same table. The water taxi was a daily staple. We took the water taxi back and forth.
Yeah.
That was the way to do it.
Definitely got some people turned on to it too that were staying at our hotel and didn't know that they had access to the water taxi. And they're like, "Oh, are you taking the shuttle?" We're like, "No, not the shuttle, the water taxi." They're like, "What? Where's that?"
Well, and the big difference is the shuttle picks you up at the curb of your hotel and takes you to kind of the edge of the
City Walk.
City Walk, kind of. You still have to go a bunch of stairs and escalators and things like that. So you do all your walking kind of after you get off the shuttle. We had to walk, I don't know, half a mile to get to the
I don't even think it was
water
half
taxi?
a mile. Maybe a quarter mile.
At most.
Yeah.
But the water taxi takes you into City Walk. About 3 minutes away from the gates of the park.
Yeah. You go through security at the dock to get on the water taxi, so you already go through security.
Just super quick.
Yeah. And there's
so quick.
and once you get off there, then you can walk over to either Islands of Adventure or the Universal Studios. So,
Got lots of really good pictures.
yep. I think we got up early the one day to do early park admission,
Yeah.
which I don't think we found to be any benefit to us.
Yeah.
So, the other 2 days we got up when we got up, we
took
got
our time,
ready,
didn't
got
set an
breakfast at the
alarm.
hotel.
Yep. And the first morning, our hotel food was pretty good. I think we were a little disappointed the next morning. I think they had a different cook in the kitchen.
Yeah, I ordered I got really excited because they had gluten-free Belgian waffles on the menu.
And which hotel did we stay at?
Aventura.
Which is one of the 3 Lowe's hotels that are grouped up together. Not bad. Nothing too fancy, but not terrible.
So the Haze Little thing is a big, and then the, what's the other one called? The one that's something it's big or whatever.
And it's a small can.
Huh?
And it's a small can.
And it's a small can being big on it. This one says little.
Doesn't make sense. Just trying to confuse us.
They do it on purpose.
Well, thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
Hey, can we get a couple of waters? Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I got it on recording. That's the 3rd time I asked him.
Yeah.
Every time he's like, yeah. So
Like-
I think we mentioned this at the beginning, but we're at the Orlando International Airport now,
On the border.
and we've got, 2.5 hours left before we start boarding?
2 hours and
2
10
hours.
minutes.
I like going and checking out airports that I haven't been to, so I'll get there early. This was a little ridiculous how early we got here, but we were just ready to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we left the parks, and there really wasn't a whole lot in City Walk for us to do. And I would have been fine just sitting at the hotel in the lobby hanging out, but you got the wiggles and wanted to go to the airport.
I had the
so-
zoomies. I needed to get out. I'm a peacock. Gotta let me fly. So we got here early, but it's working out now. There was probably about a half-hour period where we were just kind of like, well,
Yeah, we're here now.
here we are. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it.
What are you going to have? Unless you're just going to relax for now.
Let me do the chicken flauta.
Good.
And I mean, what we see on the menu is what we got, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I like the quesadillas, chicken steak with combo. I love the brisket with fish.
You know, let's just do an order of chicken fajita quesadillas for me.
Chicken,
That'd be great.
And then 1 flauta.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Let's make yourself a dang quesadilla.
I'll have the quesadilla, thank you. And I've been walking around in my 817 Funky Town shirt with the Texas road sign on it, so I've been getting a few eyeballs, I've noticed. I don't know if you've noticed that. Our Uber driver was telling us that he's opposed to the idea of Texas seceding from the Union.
He thinks if Texas does that, the United States will fall.
So, we hadn't been watching the news or even paying attention to social media the last 4 days. I haven't even been checking my text messages. So I don't know what's going on, but I know when we left it was Abbott and the Fed squaring off about the border razor wire and stuff. So apparently people are still thinking about that.
Yep.
So all in all, I'd say this is definitely one of our best vacations so far.
Mm-hmm.
I had an incredible time.
Me too.
I don't think we could have done it any better.
No, I think this was like the perfect amount of time too. We hadn't planned on coming for this long, but when we went to book it, they had an option. It was a get 2 days, or buy 2 days, get 2 days free for park admission. So I'm like, oh, well, we can go on Wednesday when we land for a few hours, and then Saturday we get a late flight out. We have another day at the park. But
and we did.
Yeah.
We went this morning and enjoyed it for a little bit, as long as we wanted to, and then we left.
Yes, exactly.
But it got so congested. Probably if it had been the same level of congestion the whole time, it wouldn't have bothered us, but we could tell the difference in between like Wednesday,
Thursday, and then like Friday and today.
Yeah.
For sure.
And by today, we were just kind of over wading through hordes of people and bumping into strangers. And
I think that was like one of our biggest gripes is, people not realizing how much like the space that they occupy or have any like
spatial
awareness. Yeah, that's it. But
drive you kind of crazy.
Yeah, just oblivious on your phones, walking around, stopping in the middle of the walkway. Those little things drive me crazy. But we still had a good time.
Thank you for doing this recording with me.
You're welcome.
My beautiful co-host.
My handsome host. I love you so much.
I love you. It was the best vacation ever.
Baby, you're sweaty.
It's hot as shit in here. All right, we're going to tie this up. Guys, we've got the citywide music series that we're putting together, and probably this week I'll have all the details finalized and we can start promoting for it. I hope you guys can come out. We're going to have a different band on stage at a different location through March through September. In September, all the bands that are in the series are going to play on one stage. It's going to be a lot of fun. I really want you guys to come out and support us for that September event, but if that doesn't kind of line up with your schedule, check out any of the other events that we're going to be putting on during the other months with our other musicians. So it'll be a lot of fun. And we're doing it for you guys, but we're also doing it to support small business and to give our artists another stage that they can perform on. If y'all been paying attention, we've been losing venues left and right. So we got to get out there. We got to support our local businesses and our local musicians, and this is kind of my way of helping the cause. So maybe you guys can get out there and help support us as well. And my message lately has just been, you guys listening to the Fort Worth Roots podcast, you guys already come out to shows and pay attention to live music. You need to bring some friends. So drag your neighbor, drag your mailman, kidnap somebody, whatever you got to do. Kidnap a coworker, drag them, screaming, blindfold them, whatever you got to do. Mm-hmm. It's for Fort Worth. All right. That's it.
That's it?
We're out of here.
All right.
We'll see y'all next week.
Megan, thank you so much for being the co-host for the Fort Worth Roots podcast. Thank you for letting me bring our friends along with us on this little trip of ours, this excellent vacation. And thank you for putting up with me. I love you. You're the best. To many more awesome vacations. All right, let's get through these sponsors real quick. Pouring Glory, 1001 Bryan Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas, just off South Main Street. 1 block north of Rosedale. Pouring Glory is a growler refilling station that serves craft beer and award-winning food with live music. They're always in the paper. Whenever it says award-winning, seriously, man, the food's amazing, and they got the paperwork to prove it. Let's see here. McFly's Pub, we talked about them at the beginning of the episode. Tommy Luke does do an open mic every Tuesday, and they've got stuff going on all the time. Find them on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, as McFly's Pub. Go check them out. You'll probably see me there if you you happen to cruise on by McFly's. Cowtown Nutrition, located at 5430 River Oaks Boulevard. They offer a healthy alternative to that compulsory fast food craving. You can also load up on your favorite Herbalife products and learn about their fitness groups that they hold on location at Cowtown Nutrition. On Instagram, it is at Cowtown_nutrition. Shout out to WAVVY Digital. If you're a musician, if you're a business owner, you need somebody to take care of that social media and that internet presence for you, this is who you need to talk to. Go to Instagram and look up WAVVY. That's with 2 V's, WAVVY Digital. Gianna Scott is very, very good at what she does. And you don't have time to do it. So there we go. Woodpost Metalworks. Go to woodpostmetalworks.com. Offer code podcast817. They specialize in metal signs with or without LED backlighting, fence and gate repair, or installation, light steel fabrication, industrial plasma cutting, and more. Hauk Walker Originals. Go to haukwalker.com. They offer a huge variety of unique and personalized gifts. Also laser engraving to customize just about anything you can think of. Now, those two, Woodpost Metalworks and Hauk Walker Originals, you don't need to go online and find anything from China or India or any other state or city. You can get these custom creations right here in Fort Worth. Buy local. Spend your money here. Let's keep that dollar in our community. So check them out. Again, that's woodpostmetalworks.com. You can use offer code podcast817 with them to save 10%. And Hauk Walker Originals. haukwalker.com. Roofing Solutions by Darren Hauk. You guys hear me talking about them all the time, and it's because they have taken care of us for over 2 years now. It's been a while. And they don't just take care of the Fort Worth Roots podcast. They take care of their neighbors in and around the River Oaks community, the Fort Worth area, and DFW all together. Been around for 13 or 14 years as Roofing Solutions, but Darren and his family have been involved in taking care of their neighbors' roofs for a long, long time. Get them at 817-882-6520. They are still offering that roofing tune-up. Get 50% off a roofing tune-up just by mentioning the Fort Worth Roots podcast. They'll get up there on your roof, take pictures of any kind of damage, and let you know what's going on up there. Seal up any pipe jacks or vent covers just to make sure there's no points of water entry. And they can explain it better than your old podcast friend here, but it's something that you need periodically. And here in Texas, you need it every year or two, just to make sure it'll help extend the longevity of your roof and protect your house so that something unexpected doesn't happen. Again, that is Roofing Solutions by Darren Hauk, 817-882-6520. The website is roofingsolutionshauk.com. And don't take my word for it. Anywhere you can find a rating on a roofing company, they got 5 stars. So anyway, my opinion doesn't matter. But the consensus, the community's consensus, that ought to carry some weight with it. Who are we missing? I think we got it all. Yep. I think that's right. Excellent. Shout out to our sponsors. Thank you guys so much. We genuinely could not do this without a little bit of help. And we are constantly looking for more sponsors. And with our music series that's coming up, I've mentioned this in the past, and a little bit during this episode. We're doing this to help promote small businesses as well as provide an additional stage for our musicians. It's been weird out there lately. I walked into the Post while I was trying to get this music series completely finished up, certified, complete. I needed another location for our musicians to play at. So, of course, I went to the Post over there on Race Street and talked to the bartender there for a minute and found out that they were going to be closing their doors actually today, I think, February 4th. It's crazy. The Post was awesome. They had a really dope outdoor stage area and a really excellent indoor stage area. And they're not able to keep the doors open. So we lost another one. And, it's the economy. And we shouldn't feel bad. I hope I'm, as much as I talk about it, I hope I don't come off as trying to guilt our entire community like these places are closing and it's your fault. It's not. It's the economy. But we do have to go out and spend a little money at these places if we want to see them stay open. And the other really bad downside of that is our musicians are losing venues left and right. where they can play at. And Fort Worth has come a long ways with its live music. And just in the last 10 years, it's really become a hub for singer-songwriters and musicians from every genre. Check out Amplify 817 with the Fort Worth Public Library. It's fairly new. It's brand new. And you just don't see cities doing that, using their library resources to promote local music. It's just wild to me. But I'm afraid we're going to lose some of that Fort Worth culture. And so that's why you hear us talking about it all the time. Go out, support these live musicians. Go out and support small business, local business. Take some friends with you. If you're listening to the Fort Worth Roots podcast, there's a pretty good chance that you're one of my homies that's always out there supporting these guys anyway. So the new message over the last 6 months or so has been take some people with you. Drag your neighbor to a show. Talk your mom into going. Whatever you got to do. Get some people interested in this, because the music side of Fort Worth is, in my opinion, something that really sets us apart from other cities. So anyway, I know I drone on and on and on about that, but I'm doing something about it. I'm trying to do something about it. It's a drop in the bucket, but hopefully it helps a little. And if you guys come out and support this thing, then we'll be able to do it bigger and better next year. And I'd love to do this every single year until we've got a strong support system for our local musicians. This year, we're going to do one artist on one stage, a different location every month. Next year, I would like to have 3 or 4 musicians every month on a different stage. So we'll see if we can get the ball rolling in the right direction. I'm doing this very grassroots. The musicians will get paid, but there's not going to be a lot of fancy frills and stuff. It's just going to be us doing the thing and inviting the community out to enjoy what we got going on. So more details to follow later this week, and then our first band will be going on stage, I think, the last week of March. Just need to contact some folks and dot some T's and cross some I's, and then we'll be ready to go. What else? Universal Studios. That was amazing. And it's the second time that I've went, second time that I've gone. And this time I felt like the E.T. adventure looked a lot better than the first time. If you guys get a chance to check out the Universal Studios amusement parks in Florida, you got to check out the E.T. ride. That's something that's always at risk of getting closed down and torn apart so they can put some other silly attraction there. But you walk into this thing, and if you're my age or older, E.T.'s got a special place in your heart. So you walk through this thing, and you're like, oh, man, this is so cool. Don't let them tear it down. So anyway, if you go there, make sure you ride the E.T. ride, because if people aren't riding it, then they'll take it down. Write your congressman. Write your congresswoman. Tell them that E.T. should be a historic landmark, and they can't take it down. Something like that. What else? There was other things I wanted to tell you about. Go check out the TikTok page, the Fort Worth Roots TikTok page. We did like a 5-part series where we kind of walked you through some of the attractions, waiting areas. You're not supposed to film while you're on the ride for obvious reasons, but we took as many videos and pictures as we could, talked about some of the different dining options and the gluten-free menus and things like that. Tried to make it interesting for you. But we had a wonderful time, and can't wait to do it again. I'm not really an amusement park guy, not something that I would have decided to do on my own, but having gone and had as much fun as we did, no regrets, not even one letter. So I swear to God, there was something else I was supposed to tell you about. I'm forgetting. This was all done with the Tascam, little bitty handheld thingy, and I noticed a couple of things today listening to the recording. First of all, we had it at volume 40 on the input for the gain, and I need to make sure that that's up to probably 50 or 55 next time I try to do something like this. And I need to keep cell phones away from the Tascam because it was making some really weird feedback noises. I never would have thought of that, but trial and error, messing with new equipment, and today I'll be trying to figure out how to piece this together without all my old hard drive files that we lost. So, yeah. What else? That should be it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I know this was a little bit outside of the norm. Hope you enjoyed this. And we'll have some really interesting guests on next week and the weeks to follow. But every once in a while, you're going to get just me and my amazing co-host. So just hope you guys enjoyed that. All right. That's enough talking out of me. Y'all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Monday. Peace. Oh, yeah. And don't worry about saving $1 or $2. Choosing an airline. Do not fly Spirit. That is all. See you next week.